Thanks everyone for coming. Welcome to Watch Your Game episode 34. Today we are joined by Proxima, the game, in the form of the Martian Lord, and LiveDieRepeat. We are on to episode 34, which has been going quite strong. We are well over 70 projects through at the moment, and I've actually been doing my admin quite well, so we are up to episode 29 uploaded to YouTube for anyone who does like listening back to them on YouTube. The aim of the space is to introduce new projects to the audience of gamers. Whether you're listening live or listening to the recording, you'll hopefully know more about the projects by the end of the space. We also try and make sure that we get some good questions, and it's a pretty open stage, so if anyone in the audience wants to come up and ask questions, feel free to put your hand up and I will get you up on stage if it works. If you're not one for speaking, you can use the speech bubble in the bottom right hand corner to put any questions, and we'll sort of ask the teams as we go through, and I'll try and keep an eye on the comments kind of as we go. I will also be pinning stuff to the top. Right now the space is pinned up there. If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to retweet it so others can see. But as we go through, we'll be pinning bits from the various projects, so keep your eyes up on the top there. Okay, they've gone again. I'll give them another invite when they come back. But we'll just have a quick look at what's been going on in the space for the last week with the projects we've been looking at. Several of the projects we have talked to and some of the organisations we've talked to in the past are at GDC. I'm sure at this point everyone will have seen all over their timeline loads of projects going on there. I am mildly jealous at this point. I wasn't to start with because I didn't really know much about it, and then the more I've seen, the slightly more jealous I've been becoming. But what's been going on recently for some of the games that we've had up previously? So we have, where's it gone? Someone had a mint. So this is going to be a semi-shill that Blast Royale, who we had up previously, they have their mint coming up. And if you were interested in that, I do have a giveaway going on my page at the moment to support Blast Royale for some of their whitelist spots. So I've pinned that one to the top. Also in Magic Eden March Mint Madness, as part of the free mints they were doing. Another project we've talked to called Moonlit Games, who are creating a game that has quite a unique aspect around their NFTs evolving as they get more kind of achievements to them. They have also got their mint coming up as part of Magic Eden's March Mint Madness. God, it's such a tongue twister. But they have already filled all their whitelists, and their mint is the 29th of March. So we kind of keep an eye out for a couple of mints coming on with those games, and as part of them minting, they are also releasing new parts of the game as well. Another update that we had recently, where'd it go? I had them all pinned on my Twitter, but it seems to have just refreshed itself and lost them all. Another one that we did have up was Toland Wars, who we can now see they're over at GDC at the moment, and they've been showing off the game. When we talked to them, they only had one kind of short bit of the demo, but they are slowly releasing new bits, with a few coming up in the future to release more chapters. If you completed their demo, you did get an NFT dropped to your wallet. We've got a new request, and I'm assuming this is going to be someone on their private account for LiveDieRepeat to see if they've come up. We'll do a mic check. Yeeboo? I'm very bad with names.
Yo, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Normally my phone is Android, and user told me that right now there are massive problems with the Android, so I couldn't join it. So right now I'm joining from my friend's phone. Yeah, sorry for the delay, by the way.
No, that's okay. You are a little bit noisy, so I don't know if you're a bit far away from the mic.
Yeah, right now is it clear?
Oh, that's better. That's
All
better.
right, great, great. Yeah.
Do you have any preference about going first or second in terms of like needing to get to bed or anything?
Like it would be great if I can be the first one.
Okay, yeah. Does that work with you, Martian?
Yeah, I'm cool. Don't worry, bud.
Okay, cool. So that is the quick updates from the games that we've had out previously. I do add all of the projects that we talked to a Twitter list. So if you are interested in keeping up to date with everyone that we've talked to, you can follow that Twitter list, and then you'll be able to see everything that they're tweeting about. And I will be pinning that to the top as well. But now that we have got someone from LiveDieRepeat on, we will go over to them. And the main question for the space is, what's your game? So please tell us about LiveDieRepeat.
So hello guys, I'm Yabu. I'm one of the founders of the LiveDieRepeat, and today I'll speak about what is Lidra NFT and what we are currently building. So basically, Lidra is a PFP project that's going to bring revenue from a mobile gaming studio to the holders of the NFT. And because of that, we created a mobile gaming studio with a team that has created games in the past. And our first game is a tower defense game. So all the games will be available for everyone on iOS and Android, and the profit from this game will be distributed to the holders and mobile game players that have our NFTs. So Lisbon will continue to produce many mobile games, and we will run both Web2 and Web3 marketing together for reaching bigger audience. This way, our games will continue generating revenue from downloads, advertisements, and in-game purchases. So what kind of utilities we are talking about here? So thanks to the revenues I mentioned, we create a sustainable utility in line with our long-term plans, and these revenues will be transferred to creating a price pool, which will include Solanas. So 70% of the pool will be directly distributed to the NFT holders in every cycle, and 30% will be distributed to the best ranked players, but these guys must be our NFT holders. Also, we will announce some partnership with some well-known tool providers to give our community a competitive edge. And finally, we are working on a classic merch shop that will launch in the second quarter of the year. So the Libra PFPs has a limited supply of 6.6K characters, consisting of 5K male and 1.6K female characters. And with the all hard work, Lidra will create a community, and being holder of our community will just provide you hours of fun and sustainable utilities.
No, thanks for that quick intro. I've pinned to the top a clip of me playing it today. Um, I think I would describe it as kind of an idle, kind of a casual game. Essentially, for those who haven't seen kind of the video up the top, you stand on your tower with your bow and arrow. You are attacked by, so far I've seen some skeletons, a witchy looking thing, and then something I would describe as either a giant or an ogre. And as you kill them, you unlock gems as well as gold coins. The gems you spend during the play run to upgrade your different aspects of your tower, such as your damage, your range, your speed, that sort of thing. And then the gold coins you use after kind of between matches to get permanent upgrades to those same aspects. And the way that kind of builds for the game is that your first run, I think I made it to like level 9 because everything gets more expensive each time you buy it with the gems. And then by the run that I've just recorded, I think I got up to level 47 because I got quite a lot of gold coins at this point to upgrade my kind of starting stats. Um, with the aspect that you mentioned there in terms of prize pool and needing the NFTs to hold it, how is the distribution of the prize pool going to work in terms of the gameplay, or is it not going to be kind of like a scoring mechanism?
Yeah, actually, we have a scoring mechanism right now. We're working on it. Actually, the Web3 integration like is gonna be on live in a couple of days, but we will start the prize pool probably next week. So like probably we will like if you check our Twitter account, we just shared our first week of prize pool uh like 2 days ago. Like you need to be get into first 50, top 50, you know. Then like with the revenues from the mobile game, like I mean advertisements, in-game purchase and downloads, the price pool is gonna increase. Also with the other mobile games, that it's just like it don't have to be a tower defense game. It can be anything, like any mobile game. Said like it's gonna be the lore will be linked with the NFT characters. So like the price pool will get bigger, bigger every time.
Okay, no, that makes sense. And in terms of because I didn't know about the prize pool, because I don't think I've spotted it in game. But will there, when that goes live, will there be an update of the game that kind of lets people know about that? Because one of the things that I'm a big fan of in terms of mobile games for Web3 is the fact that you're on the Play Store, so that not normal, that sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? Gamers who are mobile gaming without knowing Web3 can stumble across your game. So is there going to be links kind of external to your kind of news and announcements, or in-game maybe, that lets these people who maybe haven't seen you on Twitter kind of know about the prize pools and things?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So like right now we're working on developing a playable version. You know, because like right now if you play the game, actually you told us like you reach the level 47 like in a couple hours maybe. Like this is you know like limited. You have a limited world right now and easy to reach higher levels. So like right now we're working on at least 1 week playable story, you know, game story, so people can easily exit from the game and keep playing because like we will distribute this prize pool weekly, and if people play this game a week without even getting bored, so like that's our aim right now. So for getting that right now we're working on we are working on chapters, different maps, and also we put limits on some skills. Also we're working on some extra skills. Also probably we will put like if someone wants to play the game 2 times faster, we will uh, people can arrange the time. And yeah, like that's our short-term plans for the game. But like in the future probably we will make it, how can I say that, like a Candy Crush game version, you know, like there won't be any ads, and there will be many chapters, many stories, many monsters. Also we will put boss monsters like every 10 level, so like people play the game and they don't get bored. And every time if you have one of our NFTs, you'll try to get the best high score because you can get the prizes.
Yeah, and you touched on a few bits of feedback I would have given, like from playing it, and I think it's good to hear that you are understanding, like how you make it replayable. Because I was actually quite surprised how much I wanted to keep going back and improve my tower, because it is like, while it's not an ideal game as such, because you are actively kind of upgrading while you're playing, I wouldn't say you were particularly active during it. So I do think that there could come a point where the replayability of just a single map does drop off. So it's interesting to hear that that is something you're already aware of and going through. Um, I'm very happy to hear the idea of a times 2 speed, because I know that at this point my base stats can carry me through to about level 15, maybe level 20 without upgrading anything. So that kind of takes the fun and kind of the challenge out of the first levels. But then it's when I start getting to the higher levels that I start getting a bit sweatier, and I start trying to spend my gems as quick as I can to make sure I'm actually upgrading as we go. go through. In terms of the kind of weekly prize pool, are you planning that everyone's base stats will get reset at the start of the week to give it kind of a fair shout for people who join later, or how are you going to manage kind of the difference between old and new players?
So the thing is like reaching bigger audience, right? So we don't reset Web2 people's high scores actually. We only reset Web3 people upgrades because like because we want that like everybody should raise on the even terms, right? Equal terms. So that's why we will reset every week the upgrades. Then everybody starts from the same place, and in the end of the week they get their prices. But if you are a Web2 person, I mean that if you don't have any NFTs, etc., you don't get you won't reset your improvement about the game.
Okay, so
Also, like
okay,
I
go on.
want to put another thing, like so you talk about that, like the upgrades of the tower. So in one of the next updates, probably we will integrate our NFT characters into the game. If you just check our game, you will see that you are playing with a girl character, and there is no connection with the NFT lore right now. So like the first thing we will integrate our NFT characters into the game. But right now we are not thinking to give people a customizable uh, weapons or like clothes, etc. That will be just regular clothes, and because like we're thinking to add some skills into the game. But in next update, probably one later, we are thinking to put some tower upgrades into the game.
No, I think that sounds interesting, and I think the idea of leaving people who aren't kind of playing for the prize pool, leaving the stuff they've built um, kind of as is a good way of maybe giving them a sense of what they can reach in terms of levels by constant playing. And then if and when they do hear about the prize pool, they could see, well, at this point, I've upgraded my base stats, so I'm always getting to X, and that would put me here on the leaderboard. So maybe I should now look at getting involved in the competition side of it rather than just playing it kind of casually as I kind of go through. Um, with the kind of style of the game and with it being on mobile, who do you see as kind of your main target audience? You're still muted if you're speaking.
Sorry. So like in the mobile gaming sector, like you actually you don't need to reach like big numbers like 100k, 100,000k, 200,000k. The thing is, you have to get your loyal player community, like because they will like if you have at least 2,000, 3,000 player community, that you can easily like earn a huge amount of money from the advertisements and in-game purchases. But on the other side, you have to increase this community day by day. So like our main target audience will be Web2. Then after that, but our main community will be our NFT holders. When I say main target, I'm talking about for getting revenues, you know. So I'm talking about the marketing side. We will do most of the marketing on the Web2, but if we create a loyal community that plays the game every day, like we can easily earn, we can easily create these price pools, also increase the price pool.
And kind of when you're talking about building your community and getting a kind of sizable chunk of kind of core community, how big is the NFT pool going to start at? And do you have any plans what you might do if, say, the game does get so popular that there's more people wanting to be involved in the tournament side than there are NFTs?
So can you repeat the question? Like I didn't get it.
Yeah, so first question is how many NFTs are there going to be? And then as only people with the NFTs can enter the tournament side of things, do you have a plan on what you'll do if more people want to enter the tournament than your first pool of NFTs?
Yeah, okay, I see. So like we have 6.6K supply. So like probably not all the NFT holders will play the game. Some of them will choose the holder side. So that's why 70% of the price will directly go to the NFT holders. Like we will create a staking contract. So like we will distribute the 70% to the NFT holders, and 30% will be go to the play rewards. Like so, we will create this price pool every week. Like we are assuming that we will get like 1K or 2K, probably 1K NFT holders competing for the price pool. And on the other hand, like we will start our journey with the $3,000 price pool first. Like is this is just for the play rewards because we don't have minted our NFTs yet. So these $3,000 will directly go to the uh, play rewards, and this is monthly, by the way. And after that, after we mint it out, like as I say, we will with the revenues, like we will increase this price pool.
No, I think that sounds interesting. And I do have one question, which I won't go into much more detail after the question, but you're not based in the US, are you?
Yeah, we are not based in the US, so like
Okay.
our devs in the USA, but like the founders are based in the Turkey.
Okay, no, that's fine. Just because some of the words and the explanations would be ringing alarm bells if I was someone in the US, but we're not, so we're all right. Um, kind of with the where you're kind of building the game at the moment, and in terms of one of the big things that people always talk about with Web3 is kind of building with the community. How are you finding building the game kind of in the open, and what's the feedback been like for the people who are actually playing it already?
Yeah, actually, like we are getting feedbacks already from our Discord. Like we didn't even start the marketing part yet, and like the game already start getting revenue. So like the feedbacks are mostly positive feedbacks, but because like they're knowing that we already working on a product, like we give them a product without even meet it, without even a launch. So like all of them are positive because like they know that we're gonna update the game in a better way. And one of the feedbacks are the similar ones. Like for example, you said that 2 times faster time, and also they, they are reporting the bugs, and some of them mostly saying that you should are you guys thinking to integrate NFT characters into the game, etc. So like mostly but the thing is like they're mostly giving positive, right? Because usually projects like NFT projects, like they're producing browser games, etc. Because like they're kind of scaring to publish like launch something on the mobile game section.
No, and I think the feedback you mentioned is some of the bits I've spotted. I haven't particularly seen any bugs that I would know of. The one thing that I have noticed that I'm not sure whether it's a feature or a bug is that once your attack speed gets above a certain rate, it's obvious that you're shooting before knowing what's happened to the target. So essentially, if your attack speed gets to a certain rate, you'll shoot 2 arrows at the same target, even though 1 arrow is going to kill them. So you reach kind of like an optimum balance of attack speed where you don't really benefit from increasing it anymore. I don't know if that's a bug or a feature, but that's something that I've spotted quite a lot when I've been playing it.
Yeah, actually, with the last update, we solved that problem. Yeah, that was the one of the bugs. Also, sometimes if you just increase the attack speed like crazy amount, like it was the character was attacking, but there wasn't any arrow. Also, sometimes people just like farming range skill. Like every time they were playing it, like they don't even spend any coins to do different skills. They were all the time spending it on the range skill. So like they were getting crazy levels. Like one time, a guy sent us a screenshot. It was 575 level. It was like a crazy. This guy reached amount of rage, and that's why we put with with the next update. Actually, we send it today. Probably tomorrow it's gonna be live. And with the next update, we put limits on three skills like regeneration, attack speed, and range skills. So we're aiming that you can increase these skills until 30 level, and after that it's gonna say that it is full because we will change the chapter in every 30 level. So that was the idea because we want to put an end into the rage farming because the camera going zooming out too much, so like it gives a bad impact, like negative game experience.
No, I get that. And just for the people who haven't kind of seen the game, to explain what happens as you increase the range is your tower in the center gets kind of, it looks smaller as you zoom out in the map, as the circle showing your range gets bigger, and you end up with more kind of trees and bushes and rocks. And obviously you shoot things before they actually get as close to your tower. So I can understand if you make the range too far, you're literally not going to be able to see even what's going on. So no, that definitely makes sense. My next question was going to be what kind of levels are people reaching? Because I was feeling pretty chuffed with my level 47, but it turns out maybe level 47 isn't quite as good as I thought I'd been doing. So maybe I'll have to go back to the drawing board and see kind of if I can get any further along. My tactic has always been to focus on damage, attack speed, and range, and then gem generation has been kind of my key focuses when I've been doing it. Maybe I have to do regeneration if that's one of the ones you're capping. Maybe I'm missing a trick by not doing enough on that. I'll just have a quick look at the comments, see if anyone's got any questions. Just again to invite anyone from the audience, if you do have any questions for LiveDieRepeat, just request to come up and I'll bring you up to ask them. If not, I'll see if there's any in the comments. Nothing kind of coming up in the comments, just a few people cheering us on, so thank you for cheering us on. In terms of kind of my last questions for LiveDieRepeat, first off, what are the kind of key milestones that people should be aware of with the project right now?
Right now, the biggest milestone is the integration of the dashboard, and it's gonna be live in probably tomorrow or 2 days later. Then after that, the next milestone probably it will be the when we integrate the NFT characters into the game, and and after that, like people should know that like this is gonna be the first game. Like there will be many games produced from our gaming studio, and like our community, like we know that like we will produce many games, and we will ask them because we will produce games from their taste. Like probably not everyone wants to play tower defense games. It's a strategy game, so like maybe some of them will want to play the FPS game, action, or it's like it can be anything. So like they will know that like we will produce game for what they want.
And all of those games will be tied together with the same NFTs, is it?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Like all these games, like tied with the first NFT collection, like our 6.6K NFT collection, and like all the price will be connected with again like the same NFT connection. Because right now, like we want to create a sustainable model for price pool, and after that like we want to increase the price pool amount, like because there's gonna be two pools. First, older pool, the second one will be the play rewards. So we want to increase the amount of the price pool.
No, I think that makes sense, especially building it up kind of from trying not to buy off kind of more than you can chew to start with. It's a good way of looking at it. Kind of my last question would be, where is the best place for people to keep up to date with what's happening with the project and kind of get involved with the project?
Sorry, I couldn't get it. Like, what do you mean?
Where's the kind of best place? Is most of the information on Twitter? Should they be in your
Okay,
Discord?
yeah.
Where's the best place for people to keep up to date with you?
All right. So like the best place, like if you're playing the game and like mostly you want to inform about what is going with the game, what are the updates, like the best place is the Discord. Like people should inside of the Discord server.
Okay, no, that sounds good. I think Discord is kind of the key hub for most projects.
Yeah,
So
because like we
definitely,
can,
if you are
yeah,
interested,
because we can
yeah,
share
go
longer announcements. Like that's why Discord is the best place for
on.
explaining all the stuff what is going on.
No, well, thanks for those points around the game. It's interesting to hear about it. I think in terms of the game itself, I can see that you'll probably get some criticism from kind of hardcore gamers that think casual games aren't games. Personally, I have actually surprisingly enjoyed playing it as much as I have done, and I do personally think that the kind of big Web3 push in towards mainstream won't particularly come from AAA very active games. I think that there's a much easier kind of transition from kind of Web 2 to Web 3 games within the kind of casual mobile market. People are already kind of used to ads, like what's in the game. People are used to kind of the more trading aspect, the kind of collecting things within the game on casual mobile. So I'm interested to see how the game progresses and how it kind of works within the two markets across Web 2 and Web 3. But it's been great hearing from you on the project. Feel free to stay around and listen to Proxima Game if you have any questions. But if you are needing to get to bed, because I'm not quite sure what your time zone is, that is also fine for you to go to sleep as well. But thanks again for coming on.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you. I'll stay here. Like I want to listen to what they will say, and also thanks for this space. Thanks for having us.
no, that's fine. And then just for people who've joined the room since we started, welcome to Watch Your Game, episode 34. We've just heard from LiveDieRepeat, and we are about to hear from Proxima, the game. The idea of the space is to introduce you guys as gamers to these new gaming projects. We run quite an open stage, so if you do have any questions, just request to speak and I'll bring you up and you can ask the questions to the project. Alternatively, if you aren't a fan of speaking, down in that bottom right hand corner is the speech bubble. You can put your questions as comments and I will read them out for you. As we go, I will be pinning things to the top, such as video clips or links that you might be interested with the project, so kind of keep your eye on up there as well. But now we will move over to Proxima, the game. And the big question is, what's your game?
Oh yeah, thanks, Gus. Well, I just wanted to say I was interested in what you were saying, and I'll definitely check out that project. Definitely sounds like some fun. We are basically very sort of similar. We're a retro game where it meets the blockchain. So currently, right now, we have our beta out. which is playable. It's integrated with the blockchain. We have 3 NFT collections, which is the Celestial faction, the Tellurian faction, and the Machina faction. It's a side scroller 2D action sort of blaster. All the traits represent in-game mechanics. For instance, the different lasers, the different missiles, the speed of the craft, the movement of the craft, and the energy system for it. And it's available. You can play now on Paco Games.
I'm going to say ignorant now. What's Paco Games?
Paco Games is like a platform where it has a large collection of games that are available to play for free. So it's sort of like a hosting site for games. Mostly Web 2. We're kind of the only Web 3 game on there.
Okay, so it might have the similar sort of advantages that I was talking about for LiveDieRepeat of being in the Google Play Store, that you're kind of where Web 2 gamers already are.
Yeah.
And so they could just stumble across you.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
That's what we were kind of looking for with that. And it's good because it's quite an easy place for people to go on and easily launch the game instead of us hosting on the site. So what we're trying to do is, like you said, just bring in other players, because that's what we think that Web3 gaming really needs is players.
Yeah, I think from the amount of games I've played where players have been lacking, not through any fault of the project particularly, but it definitely has a massive impact on your kind of experience as a player if you're kind of rattling around on your Todd because no one else is playing it.
Yeah.
Did you say whether you need the NFT to play or not, or is it free to play?
It's free to play, so there'll be a standard ship, but also we have an NFT rental system. So any of the NFTs that have been minted, they've all sold out on this first game. You can go on and you can try them. We have our own in-game token, which is called the Prox token, and so it's 500 Prox, and then you can rent any FT in the system. And then if you actually enjoy playing the game, there's on the blockchain that we build on Multivac, there's a Epic Gallery where you can trade the NFTs as well. But you can. It is.
And in terms,
okay. I was just going to say that it is free to play. There's no barrier for entry. Anyone can play if they want to.
And kind of in terms of it being free to play, how does blockchain come into it? How does needing a wallet come into it for someone who isn't quite into getting the NFT yet but wants to give it a go?
So we've got an easy get started guide on our site. You basically need to sign in with MetaMask, add the token, and also add the blockchain that we use, which is Multivac, and that way you can immediately earn. We have a system of every 2,000 points you score, you earn 1 Prox token, which you can either take away, trade on Vax or Dex trade.
Sorry, locked my phone and I couldn't get back to the mute button. And how are you finding kind of what's the, you don't have to say the specific numbers because I know sometimes people can be a bit secretive, but how are you finding kind of building the player base at the moment?
The player base, well, at the moment we haven't done any marketing whatsoever. So, we're kind of, the beta's been released around about 8 weeks. We've got a great community, great on our Discord, where we've got about sort of just close to 500 members. I'd say we've got a good sort of roughly around about 100 which have been playing the game. So what we're doing is we're really setting up the metrics of the emissions that we want in the game. So for instance, there's purchases that you can purchase, extra lives. You can purchase power boosts, whether that be the laser, the movement, or the missiles. And that is then shared in between all the token holders with the NFT rentals. That's also 75% of the revenue that we get from that is then shared with them. But also outside of that, we have an ad share revenue. So the game has advertisements on it, and once that hits a certain metric, then that gets shared out between the ecosystem and the people that are playing and holding. But we've had, I think now, don't quote me, somewhere in the region of, on Paco Games, it says how many times the game's actually been launched. It's roughly about 16,000. So we're getting around about 2,000-3,000 launches per week so far.
No, that's interesting. I'm always interested in hearing numbers about players and stuff. Personally, I don't have a very good intuition on what's a lot of players or not,
Yeah.
especially as that can kind of vary from game to game. If it's kind of PvP, like actively shooting, you obviously need a much bigger player base because you need people to play against. But if it's more, is there any sort of competition in it within terms of leaderboards, or are you just kind of playing against yourself to get that those 2,000 points that you were mentioning?
Yeah, well, that is just to earn the one prox, but we do have a global leaderboard. That's like an old school retro arcade where you just type your name in every time you played. But also for the last 2 weeks, we're running a contest where if you can get into the top 10 when you kill a specific enemy. Last week it was the Viper. This week it's turrets. So if you're the guy that shoots the most turrets, you can win 10,000 procs.
And you mentioned getting the procs through the earning of points, and then kind of the tournament you just mentioning there. Do you guys still refer to yourselves as play to earn, play and earn, or not? And do you still consider that kind of a key part of what you're doing within Web3?
We consider it more play to own. So anybody can come into the game. They can earn tokens. They can either hold the tokens, or they can save up the tokens that they can generate through play, purchase an NFT with them. I wouldn't necessarily strictly call it sort of play to earn. There could be a metric with that, and I know a lot of people sort of think, "Oh, play to earn won't work," because you're not going to make a fantastic amount of money. It's not something that's going to pay the bills, if you know what I mean. Especially in the Western world, anyway.
And I think that's part of it. I've gone on a roller coaster of my feelings around play to earn.
Yeah.
And I think just definitions have helped me kind of understand my position. I think it can work.
Yeah.
I think it just has to work in the right way. I don't profess to know what the right way is, but I do think that some of the bits you've mentioned in terms of sharing kind of Web2 revenue streams are where you avoid just creating something out of thin air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to have a revenue.
Yeah, you can't just keep blowing stuff up without kind of everything in the kind of revenue stream.
Yeah.
With the kind of the idea of ads, is there any thought of something that obviously kind of taking it from the mobile kind of free to play models where ads can be skipped if you pay for like a monthly pass or anything? Is there anything considered like that in terms of the future of it?
Yeah, that's something that we're looking into. But at the moment, we're sort of exploring the options of getting us on mobile, because we want to make sure that when we go on mobile, the game is how it is now. We want the blockchain integration now. So not only that, there might be a monthly pass, and also it will be the ads can be skipped now, and then also there'll be a watch to earn system. So players that come in that don't own an NFT, maybe don't have the tokens, they'll be able to watch a specific amount of ads, and they'll be able to use them for extra lives or to rent an NFT, etc., etc., to entice them more to watch the advertising. So we're not making people watch the ads, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's optional, so you can watch ads to get these bits, and I think that's a similar kind of move to what I've seen when I've been giving LiveDieRepeat an option. I think making people watch it as they get into certain places hurts the experience.
Yeah.
If I make an active choice because I want to do something in the game, whilst to be honest, I probably still don't watch the ad a great deal, but that doesn't bother you guys because it still counts as a view. I think it's definitely a lot better that it was my choice to watch the ad at that point.
Exactly.
So it doesn't kind of ruin the flow.
Yeah, and advertisements in our game, they don't, once you're playing, they don't come in. It's more of a menu system. It's more when you load up the game, before you start. Once you start, there's no advertisements. I don't, me personally, it would put me off.
No, I think that's actually a good idea of doing it, because then it doesn't break the kind of immersion into the game, because it's not something like you're not randomly seeing an advert for Crocs halfway through shooting aliens or something.
Yeah. Some random iPlayer show that you're never going to watch.
Kind of with the mention of wanting to go to mobile but wanting to keep the blockchain kind of aspects in the game that you've already got there, how kind of often am I signing transactions as part of the game? Because I know that there's varying degrees of Web3-ness for games.
In terms of when you claim, the claim function, the transactions on our server side, so there's no transactions. The only transactions that you're going to do is when you want to make an in-app purchase, i.e. a rental or for a power-up. So basically, once you've signed in, that's it. You really don't have to do anything else unless you want to make a purchase. And then MetaMask will just pop up and you just click yes. And also we use a blockchain called Multivac, where I think roughly in the first week we gave out around about 500-600 transactions, and the cost to us was somewhere in the region of 0.5 cent in terms of the transaction fees on the blockchain. It's a very, very cheap and fast blockchain. That's why we chose it.
I have literally never heard of it.
Yeah.
But that could entirely be a me thing.
Yeah.
Are there many games on it? Do you find there's much of a game
No, I
community
mean
on it?
right now it is honestly, it's a very niche blockchain. There's another game called Little Bits, another game coming out soon which is Multi-Worms. There's a lot of NFT projects and stuff. I mean, we're talking the TVL, the total value locked on the entire network, is somewhere in the region of about $250,000, of which Proxima, I think at the last count, was about $160,000. So we're not talking, it's not an Ethereum yet. But you never know.
Yet.
Yeah.
And was it just the cost of transactions that drew there? Or is there something special about the chain that kind of got you interested in it?
Well, yeah. Also, the community. It's a great community. If you do your research into it, it's a great holders community. I mean, there's a circulating total supply of 10 billion, of which I think roughly, don't quote me on this, about 4.6 billion has been staked, long-term staking. So it's a community that's together, and they really get on board. It is a smaller community, don't get me wrong, and but we wanted to start this journey with a community that's strong, the community that gets behind people that want to do something, because we all know a blockchain with nothing building on it is pointless. It's like a car dealership with no cars in the showroom. So yeah, that was one of the main reasons.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to sound very anti-Web3, but I'm not a massive fan of loads of change, just because I'm really lazy about setting up extra chains.
Yeah.
But you've said it works in MetaMask, so that's enough for me. As long as I don't need another wallet,
No,
I'm normally willing to do extra chains.
Yeah, cool. It is MetaMask. You go to our site, you click 2 buttons, you're ready to go. That's it. It'll literally add the Multivac mainnet to you, then it'll add the Prox token. Then you can go into the game. You haven't got to sign up for anything. You can just skip on pack of games that the guests log in, and then you can play the game. You go to the claim function, you click it, totally decentralized. You don't have to say who you are or anything like that, and then you can earn the tokens. They'll go into your wallet. If you save up, if you want to then go back in, you can trade those tokens into MTV, go onto Epic Gallery, purchase an NFT, or if you want to just purchase something and you think it's all there. It's very, very easy. I know some people think it's like really hard, but at the end of the day, you still got to download a game. You still got to sign into Xbox Live. You still got to sign into the PlayStation Network. It's not like you don't have to do anything to play a Web2 game. You've still got to do these things, which I don't think is any dissimilar. It's a couple of clicks. I think people need to get out of that sort of headspace that there's some hoops, some crazy things you got to do. Download MetaMask, click a couple of buttons, and you're playing.
I think it's the initial step that's always the problem. So I'm pretty good technologically, not that I can say the word for some reason. But I bounced off crypto maybe for about 6 months. I kept trying to set something up, didn't set something up, worrying if I'd sent money to the wrong place.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm pretty carefree, to be honest, too carefree. I won a ledger, must be 6 weeks ago, and it is still sat on my desk in the shrink wrap. So maybe I need to be slightly less carefree.
I'm glad it's shrink wrap. Never use a ledger that's not shrink wrap.
But I think once I took that step, I think it is fine. I think you do get kind of used to it. I think it is just that initial step, and I don't think there's particularly, other than like providing guidance for how to do it, I don't think there's particularly much that can encourage someone to make that first step seem easier,
Yeah.
other than them wanting to do something that's beyond the first step. And I think that's kind of where the games come into it, that wanting to play the games should be enough of a motivation to kind of
I think
get
so.
it across. We have 2 questions for you from the comment section. I have pinned something from the game, but is there like any gameplay footage of the game could be pinned is one of the questions?
Boom, boom, boom. I don't have it on me. I'm not that prepared.
Okay.
I do apologise.
No,
But
that's fine.
If you go through,
Yeah.
is anyone from our Discord on there? Could they message it in the chat? Have a little look through Twitter for me.
Well, look,
There's definitely something
so
on that.
someone take that task up. Because I have had a look. You did have. I think you had someone streaming at some point.
Yeah.
When I was having a quick look through, you did have someone on that. I will have an investigate. And then the second question was, can you explain what was it? Can Prox tell us about the Ready Player One competition?
Okay, yeah. So at the moment we have a cool competition going on, which is Ready Player Prox. It's basically the seed phrase hunt. So there's a wallet with 10 million procs out there, and every week a different word is revealed if you can complete the beta. The beta is six levels. So if you can complete that and you can get all 12 words, and you're the first person to do it, you can unlock the wallet, which will hold 10 million procs, which is roughly about $4,000 right now.
That is a very interesting idea.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah,
it's like
it's quite good.
A little treasure hunt with a wallet.
With an actual wallet involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's very interesting.
But it's a hard game. I don't know if you've tried it out. What I have to do though, Gaspode, is I have to send you some procs and a little bit of MTV, and you have to give it a little try out.
No, definitely. I'll go and have a look, and I'm interested to see this site that you were hosted on as well, to kind of see how that looks in terms of having your game kind of where other people can see it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow the link to that that stream from the Twitter, but I'm not having any luck. We can always post a video afterwards that people can see, because I'm not having any luck kind of finding it on the Twitter. In terms of kind of, so you said then that people have to complete it to get the seed phrases.
Yeah.
How's the game going to develop, and kind of what are the key milestones that are kind of coming up for the project?
Okay, so currently we're in the first game. We're planning and we're building a trilogy. We're building the second game at the moment and fleshing out and finishing the first. The whole premise is this a little play on Satoshi, and this is maybe that Satoshi Nakamoto isn't good and he might well be evil. So it's the whole premise of the game is to defeat the Satoshi Empire. With the first game being Proxima Ascension, which is the air battle. The second game, which will be a multiplayer, 4-player multiplayer, where you'll be able to, if you have an NFT, you'll be able to play along with 3 other friends. And that's going to be a sort of like a hack and slash, sort of top-down dungeon crawler sort of battle. I don't know if you're familiar with an old school game called Gauntlet from Atari back in the 1980s. And then the third and final game, that is going to be a platformer, sort of, Castlevania kind of style, where you get to the city and you've got to find Satoshi and finally defeat him as the main end level boss. And once all 3 games are up, you'll be able to pick up items in each of the other games, which will then help you to get through the next game, if that makes sense.
No, I like that, the building on it, and I think it gives people who prefer one kind of game at least a reason to try out the others if they can kind of build on through it. I do have I'm not going to, hopefully not too much of a negative Nelly, but I do have one thing about kind of crypto games that have crypto memes in them, is how crypto memey would you say the game is? Or if you didn't actually understand it, you would just think that this is an evil person you're going after, and it still kind of makes sense as a game.
Yeah, I would think it's kind of like a Dr. Robotnik
I don't know if I've lost you or
Okay,
if
sorry
you
about that.
stopped speaking.
Yeah, no, that was me. Somebody was calling me and it just froze everything. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah. So you were saying that it's kind of a Dr. Robotnik
Yeah,
situation.
exactly. Yeah, it's not a, it's tongue in cheek, to be honest with you. It's the boss will be called Satoshi. It's I wouldn't say it's really crypto memey, if you know what I mean.
Okay, well that's good then, because otherwise my suggestion was going to be don't.
Yeah.
Because I played a card game maybe 3 weeks ago. I don't think I posted anything about it, so hopefully no one knows which one I'm on about. And every card was in some way a crypto meme. And even some, like I've not been in the space long, maybe like 18 months, and some of them went over my head. And I was just thinking, this is not entertaining. This is obviously an inside joke, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
So the fact that it still makes sense without it is definitely a plus from me.
Yeah, we do have the NFTs do have skins, but we put the skins on there. For instance, there's an AVAC skin, but it doesn't. It's not a meme. It's just a. Hopefully, along the lines, we'll be sort of holding more competitions. I mean, what I see at the moment with crypto and specific blockchains, it's very insular. Everyone's very insular. Oh, I like Matic, or I like Ethereum, or I like, and we're hoping that gradually I see the blockchain as like what we build on Unity. There's obviously Unreal Engine, there's Unity, there's Game Maker, Studio, what you can build. It shouldn't really be an issue with what the blockchain is. It should be about the game and about how you play the game and how the blockchain interacts with it. The blockchain should really just be part of the software, part of the developers' tools in order to facilitate the Web3 aspects of it. So hopefully, people are going to get out of this sort of tribalism in cryptocurrency in terms of Web3 gaming, and they'll just play games based on the fact that they can sign in on MetaMask and play it, and not sort of be I only want to play something on Matic, if you know what I mean.
No, I think so, and I think that transition will definitely be easier for games than kind of others. I think you definitely see the tribalism a lot more in kind of straight NFT projects.
Yeah.
I personally am quite agnostic to what chain something's on, as long as I've got money on that chain, so I don't have to faff around with exchanges. I don't particularly mind. I have found so far certain chains attract a certain type of game sometimes, which can be a little bit of a red flag. I'm not quite as strong as some people where they've definitely said, I saw someone's list of red flags for a project, and just being on Binance Smart Chain was a red flag for the game not being very good.
Anything on Binance
And
Smart Chain's not the best.
yeah, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but I hope eventually that it isn't like that. That it's just a case that games are a bit more agnostic as well. I know we're seeing more multi-chain games kind of coming out at the moment, so maybe we'll get there at some point. Because
I think
personally,
so.
as a gamer, I don't care about the blockchain particularly, and I think that's what. And I've already entered crypto, so anyone who's just coming as a gamer is going to be even less kind of interested in the blockchain side of it, I think.
Yeah, I think we've got to also get away from obviously, the 5 years of gamers not being able to get graphics cards, and they're not big fans of crypto for that. So hopefully that's going to sort of dwindle away the sort of vitriol to people that mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So just in terms of kind of final bits, I'll check after I've said this. If anyone does want to come up, stage is free to come up and ask any questions. But similar question to what I ended with for LiveDieRepeat. Where's the best place to kind of get involved with the community and kind of keep up to date with what's happening with the game?
Sure. Yeah. Our Discord is a great little community. We've got some all the announcements and everything go through there. Like Yibu was saying, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It really is the sort of hub of the community and the hub of all the information. Obviously, our Twitter, we regularly drop information about what's going on with the project there, and that's there. We're always happy to help. We do have a Telegram, but we don't really like Telegram. It's kind of a weird little place, but we had to have it for another partnership that wanted us to have it there. But yeah, Discord. If I can drop a link on there, if you don't mind, Gaspode. I think I can manage that.
Yeah, link away. If you can pin it to the top. I've pinned a few bits, but hopefully you can pin it to the top and then people can find it easier.
This is my
But
first
no,
Spaces, so I have no idea how to do that.
okay, hang on.
Sorry.
If you tweet it, and then I will pin your tweet.
Yeah. Oh, you're
We'll do
awesome.
it
Thanks, bud.
we'll do it that way. No, I would strongly recommend getting involved in Spaces. I go through ebbs and flows of how many I do. So I do this one every week, and I've done it now for about it'll be 36 weeks because I had 2 weeks off. And I see some people in the audience who have been on as guests with projects and games. And the one thing I'd kind of recommend around going to Spaces is I wouldn't go to loads all the time because you've got stuff to actually be getting on with. And without being rude to Spaces, we do all tend to end up flapping our gums about the same thing all the time. So having you don't need to go to all of them to get the information. But one thing that I do find is that if you aren't going regularly, you kind of lose touch slightly with where the space, not Twitter space, but the space as a whole's going. But you've done well. Like, you wouldn't know it. Like, I have been on ones where people haven't done any Spaces previously, and some of the stuff they're saying is about 2 months out of date in terms of what they think of the space in general. So it's a good way of going to the right ones. It's a good way of keeping your kind of finger up to date with what's happening with projects. And obviously, I would definitely say that mine's the best one to be listening to.
Well,
I'm unbiased,
say,
you know.
it's helped me that you've been a good host.
Okay, I've seen the Discord, so I've pinned that to the top as well. So if people are looking for the Discord, I've now pinned that to the top. We've got a few bits come up on the bottom here. Let's see what these ones are. Oh, here's a U. Okay, so someone's pinned a U. Why can people not just have names that I can say? So Cryaxis maybe has commented with a YouTube video of playing the game, so I've pinned that to the top as well for anyone who wants to follow it and have a look. And then has Holden has also done one, so I've pinned that onto the top as well. Thank you both for finding those bits. I was struggling finding them on the Twitters. We did have one more question from Holden there, though. Can we see Prox at any upcoming events or conferences?
Yeah, okay. So are you going to be attending any? We're going to be at Block Chance in Hamburg at the end of June. So if anyone's attending that.
I currently have a 8-month-old human, which is keeping me pretty tied to places. But I am keen to start going to some more. I'm very jealous of some of the ones I saw. I did get to go down to NFT London, which was more NFT than game. There was like a Flora gaming, which was quite interesting. But I do want to go to more which are entirely focused on gaming. I keep umming and ahhing with the idea of arranging one, but I have a very busy life, so I don't really want to do it.
I know. I'm a parent as well, so my daughter's a little bit older than 8 months, thankfully, so she can look after herself. But I do remember those days. And plus, I'll tell you what, have you got what is it, a boy or a girl?
I have she's a little girl, but then I've got a 3-year-old as well.
Oh wow!
So a 3-year-old boy, yeah. So go to Hamburg.
They don't like you leaving the house at 3, do they?
No, I'd have fun. I feel that my wife would kill me on return.
More than likely.
So you're going to Hamburg. So if anyone's in that area or travelling, keep an eye out for Prox. I'm not sure what other ones I've seen coming up recently. I need to get a bit more on the pulse. I try not to see them, I guess, so I don't feel like I'm missing out.
No FOMO. No FOMO.
Yeah.
I know a couple of them look good, and then a couple of them look at like that one in Paris with the, I can't remember what they were called. You know, there was just like 100 guys dancing in a room. Looked a little too much for me.
Yeah, I'm too old for that now. Not dancing, just being out with loads of people. I feel that would be a lot. I would want to be in bed. To be honest, I think that's what would happen. Is I would go somewhere, and because I wouldn't be with the children, I would go to sleep really early.
Enjoy that proper night's sleep. No,
Yeah,
no,
not quite the
no.
rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah, well, it's all right. It's good. I don't mind it.
But no, it's been great chatting.
Hmm.
We have, for everyone, we have heard from LiveDieRepeat and we've heard from Proxima Game. If you've missed any of it at any point, the whole space is recorded, so you'll be able to find it on my timeline, and it will be going onto YouTube at some point. I'd just like to say thank you to the both projects that came on and spoke. Obviously, you're very busy building, so the fact that you've given us some of your time to come and talk to us is very nice. I would flap my gums for an hour and a half without anyone, but it's obviously better having people to talk to. And the same can be said for the people who come and listen. There is a lot of options out there now, and there's a lot to be doing in Web3. So the fact that you've taken the time out to come and actually listen to these two projects really means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to the projects as well. As we've lost LiveDieRepeat, I will say some final words for them. If you like towers shooting stuff, go check them out. They've got stuff happening and prize pools coming along. And I would say that it is an idle game-ish. You do something, but it's quite idle. I didn't think I liked those sort of games, but it has been tickling me in the right places. So if you are someone who enjoys that kind of thing, make sure to go and check them out. Pinned to the top. And then I will let Proxima give their own final words. I won't hash your project yourself.
Then. I'd just like to thank everyone for listening in. Obviously, I'd like to thank you, Gaspo, for hosting this event and being a great host. I'd also like to say, if you could just drop me a MetaMask wallet, and I'll drop you a little link to add it to it, and then I'll send you a little bit of props and a little bit of MTV, so you can give the game a test. And yeah, if anyone wants to shout, say hello. My name's Simon. I'm the Martian Lord. If you ever need any help or need any advice on how to start playing Proxima, just hit me up on Discord. And yeah, thanks again to everyone.
Yeah, thank you, and I will do that, and I will have a look at getting something recorded. I do record everything just in case I do something amazing. So far, I haven't, but you never know. One day I'll do something impressive. But no, thanks again for everyone who's come and listened. Thanks again for the projects. We are now booked all the way through till I think the last week in April with different projects at this point. So going to be a busy few weeks ahead with the different projects. So make sure to come back. I've pinned to the top our Twitter list, which will let you follow all of the projects to see what they're up to. And when you're going out there looking for games, remember to look for games and play games that you enjoy. And I'll catch everyone in a bit. Cheers now.